spot.
Yeah.
Yes,
Where's a good spot? Jeez, Rob. How tall is he? Can he shoot? Can he get a rebound? I don't know if I like that right there.
I don't think I like it.
You want to get closer?
Yeah, it's summertime. Finally, sun shines out. It's above 85. We're in the middle of recruiting season again, and with that new calendar, and it's busier than ever. I think that that's the one thing that this new model has provided us, is with the ability to work every day in June, which is great, and we're doing that. Got a busy week, and have had a busy month with young guys on campus and coming to visit us, along with being able to work our guys out. So in a time of year that most people consider our downtime has not been that, but it's been exciting. I think that I'm very much like every other coach in the country. He feels great about his team, and he feels great about what they're doing this time of year. We're very, very blessed, as we have a great strength coach in Adam Fletcher, and to see the improvement that the guys have made since our last game has been exciting, and that's what we strive to do here is help our guys become better, not just on the court but athletically. And a lot of that was needed. I said after the season, the best thing that this team needed was an off season, and we're in the middle of that, and it's exciting. We're going not quite 4 hours. We get 4 hours a week. We haven't been utilizing that on purpose, as we have the Italy trip that goes into August, and so we're trying to keep guys fresh and still get a lot of work done, and we're also toying with some different things at both ends of the court. So that'll be a great opportunity as we leave for Italy at the end of the summer session. We don't have everybody here. We're still Benjamin graduated last night. That's a downside to late graduations, and Bernard had just graduated the week before. So as late graduations happen in June, and then getting everything through the eligibility center and clearinghouse, it takes some time. So we will keep everybody posted on their arrival situation. But yeah, we're excited about Italy. We're excited about the 10 days of practice that lead into that, and that should be an exciting and fun trip, and there's an unbelievable educational piece to that, and as well, it'll be laid back. It's a great bonding. Team-wise, we'll have a lot of fun, and coaches are I'm going to let the assistant coaches coach over there. We'll play either 3 or 4 games yet, still to be determined, but exciting times, and I think we're in a great place right now.
These new things that you're toying with, what are you toying with at the defensive end of the court?
Oh, I think there's all kinds of situations as to handle ball screens, maybe a little bit different. I think we've messed around with some different things with big lineups and how we handle some coverages. Minor technical stuff. You could possibly we're messing around with possibly some different zone looks than we've played in the past. So it's a great time to experiment and see what it looks like.
I know it's early, Brad, but just having the presence of Kofi Coburn, how does it change what you guys are and what you do?
Well, I mean, we're going to look really good in the airport. I think his presence at, he's 7 foot. He weighed in at 299 pounds. He's less than 14% body fat, which is very, very good. And for him, it's just continuing to gain strength. It's conditioning, you know, at the highest level. That's what Fletch is phenomenal at, and you know, he's a guy that's willing listener and learner, and you know, it's just a matter of him picking up what we do and then getting through the first you know, the first month of Fletch when he's never really lifted before. So it's an adjustment period, and I think it's still very early to throw out too many expectations, but it's nice to be able to see that size and athleticism on the court.
The backboards and rims intact still?
Yeah, I would venture to say there's a good chance they probably won't be for the duration, but from what I've seen through the first few workouts, he puts a hurting on them. So, but that's I hope that's a problem we have.
I mean, they haven't had a lot of time together yet, but how have you maybe seen, you know, him matching up and pairing with Georgie as, you know, front court? You want to play together.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we're excited about is to see that duo together. I think we saw a very limited Georgie in terms of Georgie's ball handling. I think, you know, a young man played all season with a thumb injury. And, you know, the young guys, you know, that young man's in here every morning at 6 a.m. He's getting shots up. He's a proven shooter that shot a really bad percentage last year by his standard. And he's capable of that. He's a very good passer. And, you know, yet there's some defensive adjustments. And we sure the heck don't want to forget about Georgie's true strength, which is in the post-up, I mean, area. He's a ton to handle there as well. So, yeah, it's one of the things we're working at, we're looking at, and that's what'll make you know, Italy pretty meaningful, is being able to throw those two out there together.
Benjamin Bossmans-Verdonk, what do you call him, first of all, and two, what's the story behind finding him and why you guys liked him so much?
Well, I think the one thing we've been, I don't know what we're going to call him right now. I'm going to call him Benjamin until I figure out that I can't pronounce that name if he's messing up. But no, you know, we've been looking for a guy that's that size, 6'7", 6'8". I think that's one of the things in this league that a lot of the teams have had is size on the perimeter who can stretch the floor. He's done that. His versatility. He's a guy that can play in ball screens. He's a guy that can set ball screens and pop. His versatility is very good. And then, you know, physically, you know, he's 225 pounds. He's got a body that's a little more mature than some other guys, and that excites us. So we're really looking forward to seeing his skill set with that size and how it fits in our system.
Io came back with the unfinished business hashtag. How has he approached his first off-season here?
Well, he's done that with a vengeance. I mean, there's you're talking about a very motivated young man. He didn't go home in May. He stayed here. Took a May class. Has been not just in 2 or 3 segments of workouts. A lot of times it's been 3 or 4. You know, and he's kind of adopted the motto that everybody works out once. Good players work out twice. Great ones get more than that. And Fletch has helped him in a lot of areas through that time. We see a guy that physically has changed already, and that's exciting. That will do nothing but enhance his game, and with that added strength comes confidence. So he's been nothing but exceptional in this off season.
What have you noticed about Ted and Allen coming back for year 2 and the improvements they've made? Yeah,
a lot of the same thing that Io's gone through, and we've seen guys that have gotten stronger, have gotten much more comfortable, and you know, the cliche I use, the best thing about freshmen as they become sophomores is they gain confidence because it's not new anymore, and there's a familiarity that breeds confidence, and we're seeing that, and we're seeing added strength in both of them, and better athleticism, and just the ability to translate that to the court and their game, And then we're working on weaknesses as well. And so all those guys have gotten better in every aspect, on and off.
Going back to Kofi, how would you say his presence so far in the offensive end has kind of affected things, maybe in terms of spacing or the way you guys just kind of run sets?
Well, we haven't done anything 5-on-5 yet. We haven't done anything other than just individual stuff. There's been, this month has been a ton of teaching and really trying to master some of the fundamental things that we do. There's been some ball screen stuff. He's shown that he has great hands, that he catches things above the rim. And then he's got a way to, with that size and girth, to kind of carve out his own little niche. So, you know, we'll continue to work through that as we prepare for Italy, and this month has primarily been just getting him acclimated to some fundamental things, and then the weight room.
How much different is that, though, with all these newcomers back, Brad? How much are you teaching now, and what kind of things are you teaching compared to maybe this time last year?
Yeah, we're light years ahead, and I mean we can actually start thinking about schemes and getting guys up and advancing some things, just simply because we're not. I'm not saying we're neglecting the basics, because we're still working on them, but guys understand, so we move through things much quicker, and we're able to move on to other things. So you see a different air, you see a different mentality with our guys because of that, and so we're in a nice spot, returning so many guys with so much experience.
Brad, about half your roster is international guys who came from another country. Why has that been an avenue for you guys, and is that becoming a bigger thing for you recently?
Well, I think that I said we were going to recruit the world. I think that was pretty well made evidence last night by the NBA awards. I think the MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year, the Newcomer of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, we're all international guys, and there's good players all over, and yet they have fit us. It just so happens that you know, that's an area that fits this university extremely well. It fits our campus, our diversity, and we enjoy it. And we've got guys that are very, very committed to not just our program but to the university. So it's been a nice fit. I don't want to say it's been something we've set out to do completely, but yet it's kind of the way things have fallen into place.
How does it shape that locker room? Like, these guys are getting kind of different people.
Oh, there's no doubt. And I mean, it's an unbelievable closeness that this locker room has. It's what I'm so excited. It gives me so much hope. Is this locker room is. Everybody's got a different experience, and no matter what that is, and they share those experiences with their teammates, and it brings a closeness and a bond, and I'm really excited about some of the things we'll be able to do in Italy, and along those lines, and continuing to grow. And now you know, Kofi's from Jamaica, and a young man from Belgium, and you've got a young man from Chad, and so we continue to add to those pieces, and they're good pieces that fit.
Those two, Bernard and Ben.
International talent and just that whole kind of recruiting, and how do you compare that to high school recruiting processes and stuff like that?
Yeah, I don't know if the process is that much different. I think you've got the World Championship starting in Greece coming up. We'll have a staff member there. I think it's about continually building relationships, and that's what it's about. I've throughout my coaching career, I've had a lot of international guys. I think we evaluate it differently. We still watch film on high school guys. The new event, the new calendar, gave us a great opportunity this weekend to see a lot of kids in Chicago. You still evaluate them. We still evaluate them on film. So the process hasn't changed. The world has shrunk in terms of there's so much technology out there that we can get a great read on kids, and now we have so many scouts that cover European basketball or basketball around the world that we get a pretty good feel for it.
You mentioned that camp in Chicago. What are the pros and the cons of this new calendar that the NCAA has implemented this year? Because this summer's a lot different than a lot of ways.
Yeah, there's no question. It's I love the format. I was really excited to see kids are competing hard. They're competing to win. You see them in their roles with their high school team, so you get a better idea of how they fit into those roles. It's not a showcase, as so often we see. They were playing to win, and so that's really positive. I like them in that environment. I'll have to wait to see how the whole summer plays out to see if I like it in June. I like being on campus with our players, and I like that aspect of it. It gets to be very challenging sometimes with family, as 5 of the 8 weeks this summer, when you can actually be with family, we're recruiting. And we have a long season. May has completely changed now because of 900 plus transfers, and the recruiting game is spilled over into May and June. And so at the end of the day, I think I'll have to sit back and see how I like it, but it is definitely different. We're going to host, we got rosters today. We're going to host an event here July 23rd through 28th or 22nd through the 28th, I guess, and I have young people on our campus, which I think is fantastic. I'm excited about that, and it'll be a camp setting, which will be something that we haven't evaluated guys in. So we'll see at the end of July how it all plays out. I hope the one thing that doesn't happen in this is, this is an opportunity for young people to earn scholarships, and I hope we're not leaving people behind in this process.
Is there a point in time when Bernard and Benjamin have to be here to participate in summer workouts? And it sounds like Bernard's coming on a visit. Any feel if they'll be able to do that?
We are basically at the mercy of the process, and so we'll see how that plays out.
Do you expect them to go to Italy? Is that still up there?
That's the plan. Yes.
Will they be competing, Benjamin and Bernard?
To be determined. I mean, it's all about eligibility center stuff and so on and so forth.
Andy Katz has you guys at 20 in his Power 36 right now. Is that something that you hear about at all? And if not, I mean, does that kind of make you a little excited that people are kind of taking notice of what's going on in Champaign, kind of outside of the room?
It's good. It's good. We didn't come here to finish 20th though. I've said all along, there was no no shortcuts in this process. It takes time, and you're building a culture that we feel excited about. We play in the best league in the country, and nobody is going to let you pass them. So you have to do it the right way. You look on paper, and we do have a lot of experience back, yet we are also extremely young, and in terms of what our roster looks like. So I'm excited. Illinois should have expectations put on them. We're excited to get to go deal with that, and we're going to have another challenging schedule. And we're excited to be talked about in those conversations.
You're hitting early on a lot of kids in 2021. Do you feel like you're at a point where the recruiting board, your evaluations, where you're not playing catch up in that class? Is that kind of the sense you've got?
Again, it's timing. It's so much. It takes time. You don't just jump in and build instantaneous relationships, and prospects and their families and their parents need to see what you're about and who you are and style of play and all of those other aspects. And we've getting as many of them as we can to the State Farm Center and see our wonderful fans in that building, and we've got plans for renovation of this, and there's so many positive things that are happening. So along with that is relationships, and you feel like you're in a good spot. You know the young people that you like, and now they can get an opportunity to get a great feel for you as well.
As the timetables kind of changed on roster construction, obviously with some transfers, and now it stretches into the summer months, have you seen an effect on when you're on your next class, when you're not getting to jump in fully to that as you're trying to put together your roster for the next season?
Yeah, I think you go in and I think you still look at the possibilities of what you need, and you try to address those needs as early as you can. I think it's, we still look at and have the NBA situation where kids are going to declare and you don't know if they're going to come back or whatever. That those become kind of the unknowns, where the transfers become very, very important, and grad transfers fit into that as well. So it's an unexact science right now. I think you look at a team like Texas Tech that played the national championship game and I think had 3 guys on that team that's back. And you look at Virginia, what they lost as well. So I think you're seeing a different model out there, and you take advantage of it any way you can. But we're going to go out and try to sign the best high school kids that we can that fit our needs.
How do you feel like 2020 recruiting's going, just in terms of evaluations, maybe? It's hard, and I don't want to. You can't obviously talk about specifics. I feel great. I love the guys we're on, and we got an opportunity here to have a fantastic season and continue to build on that into 21 and in the future. So it's still a process, and some people are still early in the process of making their decisions, but I feel great about it.
How's the adjustment going to the 3-point line, moving back, and how do you think the impact will be this year?
Well, they say it's going to be 2 percentage points, but I'm a big fan of it. And I think it creates better spacing. I think it's going to open the floor. I think it's going to provide interior play, more room to maneuver, maybe lengthen closeouts, lengthening tags on pick and rolls in certain situations. So I'm excited to see how it plays out, and could be very beneficial for us.
Particularly favorable for your offense, your style?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've got to do some things. We've got to do some things better offensively. One of the things we talked at nauseum about with our team is getting to the foul line, and then offensive rebounding, and 2 things that we've spent a lot of time on the analytics of that with Sweet 16 teams, with Big Ten teams, and where we were at, and we've got to get better in those areas. But I think that all helps as well.
Does it affect your defense at all?
Oh, it'll
how you go about it?
I think it can be team to team a little bit more in terms of the way you affect it. I think that added space is great, and that opens the paint. I think we'll see more effective post play with that line, and I think we'll see. I think once people eventually get used to the shooting from that distance, the biggest difference is in the corners. It dramatically changes your footwork in the corners, because it's the FIBA line, or the new line we're going to, is now the NBA line in the corners. There's not very much room there, and so it's a drastic difference in footwork, and we're having to teach some things differently there. But I think you'll see kids adjust, and when you make longer closeouts and create that extra space, that's a really positive thing.
What kind of impact do you think that could have on your guys' high pressure ball now, the type of defense, when there's more space, could be more?
Yeah, I think it's one of the things we've spent a lot of time on this spring and summer. Is we got to guard the ball better without fouling, and we've so many fouls just senseless by reaching, and so we've talked a lot about that, and those go hand in hand with having a little better rim protection and making our rotations a little better. And I think that's why we changed some things or looking to change some things with some of our ball screen stuff. So it all goes hand in hand, and I don't foresee that being a major impact. But we'll tweak a few things here or there to help that.
Somebody that doesn't get a lot of talk is Samba Kane. How's he progressing through all this?
Been great. Guy, The good thing for Samba was that after the spring term ended, he got to go home for a little bit. And he hadn't been home in a long time, so he got to see his family. And we've seen a rejuvenated, excited Samba. He's attacking the weight room. He is kind of following along with Georgie everywhere Georgie goes, and falling into that work habit mode, which is good. But yeah, he's been a real positive here in our early workouts.
It's been even a small moment this summer where you saw somebody either for their behavior or their skills that was a nice little surprise that you weren't expecting, even if it was something small.
Well, I think the one thing that we look for and we talk about a lot is internal leadership, and you know, I don't want to. It's been very nice that our guys have handled a situation where a guy showed up tardy and late for something, and when those guys are handling that and I don't have to, that's growth, and that's one thing that has been positive. And then I think you see guys really falling in line with the culture of work that Io, that Georgie, those two in particular have set. Those guys get in the gym a lot, and you see everybody else falling in line with that. DeMonte's another one that's in the gym a ton. He's been impressive as I've ever seen him here in the last 2 weeks.
Is the schedule almost done? Close? Maybe not?
Closer.
Okay.
Closer.
With 20 and a bunch of slotted games already, what have you taken away from the last 2 years and put into this year's schedule to change something, or has it been about the same?
Last year's schedule is going to help us this year, and last year's team, there was a maturity that we didn't have to go handle some of those moments and some of those games. That'll benefit us this season. You know, I think one of the challenges last year was just grasping and getting a foothold on winning and being able to find a little bit of success early, and we lost some hard games. And you know, I think that we're still going to play really good people. There's no doubt about that. We've got. I'm excited about the ACC Challenge, to get a NCAA tournament team pretty much year in and year out in Miami. And they're going to be much improved. Cam McGusty becomes eligible for them. He's a guy that had 28 or 30 against me when I was at Oklahoma State, and you know, to get them in here, that's an exciting game. And you know, then always the bragging rights, and so I'm looking forward to a great home schedule, and giving these guys the ability to continue to play in front of our fans as often as we can.
Brad Jeffs talked about getting a bid on the state championship games again. You were in the state before. I don't know if you have any personal experience with coming here and watching them. But
Nothing better.
What would that mean for your program? What are your memories from that?
Well, and I think it goes way beyond what I think. And our program. I think it's the young people of the state that have that are losing out. And I think it's an opportunity to play in this building. They all know the University of Illinois. I'm excited about that. It's no reflection of what's going on in Peoria. I've been to both, but I'm excited. I think that it could be a great thing for high school kids for years to come in this state. But we've got to see how that process goes, and we'll see. But I'd be a very proud head coach to know that the best players in our state and the best coaches year in and year out are stepping foot in what I think is one of the great venues in all of college basketball.
Do you have like a personal memory or game that you remember most from there?
Well, I can just remember coming to the single A back then. Back then it was A and double A when it was, and I mean I couldn't get a ticket, and so I don't have one specific memory, but I just remember how challenging it was and how awesome it was to see. Again, that's part of the footprint of what made this job so exciting to me, with those memories of coming over here and trying to go see a game and struggling to get a ticket when you're a college coach.
You mentioned getting players on campus for visits. Are they different in the summer just because obviously there's not 30-some thousand students here and you don't have a game to take them to? Just is there different things you try to do to?
Well, they're usually very quick. You can't leave campus, and so everything's very modified in terms of what you're trying to show them. Some of them are just for a couple hours, and so you're really just in the relationship building mold of that, and getting them around, and if we have a workout, getting them to see our guys and interact with our guys, see how we do things. So there's a lot of different things. Every situation is different, but the biggest thing is just getting them here on our campus and around us. And you know, we go dead here at the end of the month, so getting them in here in June is big for us.
It's no secret that Aaron Jordan and his family meant a lot to this program. To hear the news about Rob, how hard was that, and to hear for Aaron?
Yeah. I think anytime you see one of your players go through a loss like that, and Rob never missed a game at home or away. The job parenting that he did for Aaron is incredible. And you know, I've said many times, I hope Aaron becomes the face of our program. And I know that his father and his upbringing is why I believe that. And he never ran, he never backed away, he never changed, he stayed committed. And you know, you saw that dedication and commitment from Rob in terms of his attendance and his support for his son. And you know, so I've got a soft spot and a sad heart for the fact that he's no longer here. And you know, Aaron's always going to be part of the Illini family, but he's also going to always going to have a very special place in my heart because of everything that he stood for when it was probably easier to go the other way. So we took the team up on Friday, and what was a very tough moment, but also our young guys also know how valuable Aaron was and how close they were, and so it's yeah, it's a sad time.
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.